To you by EnterSwitch. Transaction solutions you can depend on.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for Business Express 981. Today is the 17th of May, 2021. Hello, Rotus. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy week.
Indeed. Happy Monday, indeed. Money Monday. Good morning, Valentine, and good morning to Lagos and everybody out there. Hope everybody's fine.
Yes, we are. That's right. It's Money Monday. Let's talk about the money and how to push it forward. Send a message through WhatsApp to 0809-444-0981. That's how you can be part of the show. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get a prompt whenever we're live, as we are now. You can join us live to watch and comment on that platform, youtube.com/Smooth981FM Lagos. On Twitter, we're at Smooth981FM. Use that hashtag BusinessExpress981. Rotus?
Yes, indeed. President Buhari has departed for France. He should be, in fact, in Paris by now. I think they tweeted a picture of him arriving in France or departing from the airport here. There's an African summit that is taking place, a 2-day summit. First is going to be focused on South Sudan. South Sudan, of course, has about $60 billion in debt that it's owing the Paris Club. About 38 total foreign debt is 60 billion. About 38, almost 40% of that is owed to the Paris Club. The South Sudan has a new leader who is seeking assistance from not only the French, from other global countries in order to reduce its debt. So Monday today will be focused on South Sudan. Macron is trying to reestablish France as a major help or assistant of African nations. So all the big African leaders, over 24 of them are going to be there. President Buhari, Ramaphosa, Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana, Kagame of Rwanda, a number of them are going to be there. They also want to talk about post-COVID-19 financing for African countries. We're looking at about a gap of estimated to be about $300 billion shortfall in financing for a number of African nations as a whole. I think Macron is trying to get SDRs or SPRs, special drawing rights for African nations from the IMF to be increased. Remember, they've already talked about debt forgiveness for some African nations, I think from the G7 nations that are saying they will postpone that. And then there's also talk now of, okay, how can we get them more funding in order for them to be able to meet their obligations? So it's on the one hand, it's an assistance issue for Africa. On the other, it's a power play for France to be able to say that they can bring together all these African nations to sit down and talk about how the pandemic affected debt and what they're going to need going forward. So I think it's, again, 2 days. Today, Monday, will be focused on South Sudan. Tuesday, tomorrow, we focused on Africa in general, all the other nations that are coming together, and how they can address this financing issue. The thing is, look, a lot of these countries are facing a lot of financing shortfall. So it's either you allow them to borrow more, or you try to, either you allow them to borrow more or give a haircut on the amount of debt that they have. So far, China said that they will probably forgive some debt or postpone debt repayments. That's the best a lot of these countries can do, because it's not just developing nations that are facing issues with respect to financing. Developed nations are also facing issues. So as a developed nation, they're like, look, you can't expect me to just forgive all these debts, and I need to be paid back. So what I can do is maybe, delay or postpone repayments. So, but still, by and large, Macron is facing elections. I believe it's next year. I think France general elections in 2022. So he's coming under some pressure himself. So he has to at least come out and assert support for these African nations, just part of a global play for him. So that's what's happening. So that's where Buhari is going to be, at least for the next couple of days. In fact, they showed images of him departing, also Ramaphosa.
Yes.
I think that's an image of, that's Ghana's president, Nana Akufo-Addo, on our screens right there. So That's France. And another interesting thing, I understand that the president is supposed to be talking about security with France and how they can help out with respect to Boko Haram and so on. Well, Macron came here in 2017 or 2018. Remember, he went to Fela's shrine. He met Buhari. He took a question on. I remember clearly a journalist asked him, "What are you, France, going to do about the herdsmen crisis and Boko Haram?" And I remember it made a lot of news because people were like, you are asking Macron. Meanwhile, the president Buhari is standing next to him. What's it? And that was in 2018.
Yes.
Fast forward 3 years now, 2021. President is still going to talk about security with France. So it makes you wonder how much progress has been made on this insecurity matter. You have to think about how it's affecting the economy, affecting the investment environment, so on and so forth. So we'll see. I hope. I hope it's something worthwhile. With that respect.
Nedu says, Nedu said, I don't know if it's just me, but there's a song playing of. All right, thank you, Nedu. It's called The Bed, and it's a background music. Please go on, Rotus.
Yeah, so for more domestic issues, the central bank on Friday, or was it Thursday, removed the official rates from its website. So if you go to cbn.org and take a look at the macroeconomic indicators that are there, all you'll see is the inflation, the monetary policy rates, and crude oil price. And the thing is, a lot of people are saying that this means there's been a devaluation. In truth, it has cbn.gov.ng, not cbn.org. It's cbn.gov.ng. So if you go there, you'll see that there. But there's no devaluation. The official rate, we've said this thing for quite a while, that this rate is not a rate that anybody really uses. That is a rate that's been relevant for a while now. It hasn't. Really, it's the NAFEX rates, the INE window, investors and exporters window, which FMDQ reports. I think that closed at about 411 or 412 on Friday. So I know the CBN rates trails the NAFEX rate. There's like a window about a 2% margin between the FX rates, the official 379 rates, and the NAFEX rates of 410, 411. So essentially, the central bank has been gravitating towards the NAFEX rates. That is the INE window, saying that look, that official rates, it's not something that's been relevant. So I think they've been trying to find a way to just get rid of it, and they did that on Friday, but not without people noticing. But there's no. So devalue. Everybody should, worry or say, oh, devalue to 410 officially or whatever. It's that the NAFEX rate is what's, going forward. If you think about the money we're trying to get from the IMF, the World Bank, and the World Bank saying that we need to converge our foreign exchange windows and so on and so forth. This is another cosmetic move towards that end, saying that, look, we're not dealing with this official rate again. It's going to be this NAFEX rate that we're using.
So the erstwhile official rate that we're talking about referring to is 379 naira per dollar, right?
On the website, yeah.
Yes, I mean, now that it's been taken off, what's the replacement? What are we to expect?
So it's the NAFEX. So if it's on FMDQ, if you go to FMDQ website, you'll see the INE window, the investors and exporters window. That's supposed to be the rates that the nation really should be focused on. I mean, the central bank really should come out and say, okay, look, address it. But I think, I don't know, it was a move that they just wanted to make quickly and just ditch the official rate. Again, realistically, who was the last person that went to the official window and was able to get 379? I mean, if you look at where the parallel market is, where NAFEX rate, I don't think that rate has really been relevant. So again, it's going to be the INE window rates, which is the investor and exporters window. That's the rates that folks should be focused on. There's still, of course, the disparity between that and the parallel market. There's still the FX issues. There's still a demand backlog. All these things are there, but it was a it was a slick move with no major announcements done by the central bank Friday. Then El Rufai, man, El Rufai is going through it. I mean, that's the governor of Kaduna.
Yes.
From the bandit issue to kidnapping, now they've sacked another between 4 and 7,000 workers in the civil service because they're saying that they can't afford it with respect to the wage bill. So the Kaduna Electric, the disco in Kaduna, put out this tweets, which our viewers that are following on YouTube can see. They're saying power failure due to NLC industrial action. The Nigerian Labour Congress responding and said they want to shut down the entire state. They've asked everybody to get involved and they're going to strike. And so they've talked to the transmission company of Nigeria says has knocked off their lines in Kaduna State as a result of workers that are there in the power sector adhering to the directive from the Labour Congress. So they're trying to force the hand of the Kaduna state government. Remember this back in 2016, I think he let go of a number of teachers that failed. I think it was 11, 12,000 or so.
Yes.
Failed
the grade 8 examinations that he gave them.
Right, exactly. So now I think if you add now, Kaduna's getting rid of about in total 16, 17,000 or so total workers. So he says the wage bill is just too expensive and they can't afford it. And so that's why they're letting go of these workers. And if you think about the conversations that we've had about Nigeria's wage bill and the overhead costs with personnel and how much it costs to run the Nigerian government, this is kind of what people are asking for. But the issue is those folks, where are they going to go?
Exactly.
It's been the difficult question. These folks are out of work. Do you now say, okay, well, are they retrained? Where will they find new jobs? But Kaduna right now, man, it is a real tough situation now because this is now going to lead to darkness. We had what's it called? A national blackout with the grid suffering another major failure last Wednesday. So that's nationwide. Now this is going to be there's a blackout now that's going to be over Kaduna. They're looking at shutting down markets, all services, to try.
There's even talk of airports as well.
Yes, so it's a really, really, really it's a really tough situation. But again, what do you do? The wage bill is heavy. They have to let go of people. So right now they said they'll start the strike today. It's supposed to last for 5 days. So tough situation.
D from Alausa has this message on WhatsApp. It says, I hope Buhari will not be hoodwinked into pledging to pay a significant part of Sudan's debt stock. Recently, he promised to take care of Chad, whereas his base knows no security. Imo from Ikeja says, are African leaders not tired of receiving arms from these foreign powers? They give and somehow look away from the fact that these African leaders eat the money. What am I missing? Or is it generosity? Or is generosity a Greek gift? Is what D is asking. Or Imo, thank you for that. Yinka says, over 24 of them sound somehow like 24 of clueless heads because the African presidents are like Nigerian state governors. All these aids to me are just a setup. What has the French presence in Niger and Chad helped improve security in that region? And because these Western powers offer some those shackles called loans, is why Africa is still backward. When they invaded Libya, why didn't the African leaders stand behind Gaddafi? Now see what has happened to security in Africa thanks to that invasion. Henry Manuel here says, it's astonishing how the CBN can remove an indicator that has been on the website for several years without any explanation. That's how much they rate us. Disgraceful. Lenin says, good morning, Smooth. Please, Rotus, what's the last NAFEX rate? 379, right?
No, that's what was on the official rate.
That's the official rate, yes.
It closed at 411, 412.
All right.
And then parallel market is about 483.
Still. Okoro says, Rotus, a firm I know buys inflow at 494. Is the INE rate accessible or is it inefficiency on the firm's part?
Look, that's definitely, when you say 494 for inflow, he's referring to an electronic transfer. That's what by inflow, and though that is higher because you're looking for somebody to transfer money into your account electronically, and that is to avoid the $5,000 cap limit of deposits on DOM accounts. You can avoid that limit by an electronic transfer, but because that's hard to come by, that's why that's going for $494. So it's a little tough. There's still some supply issues at the FX at the FX window. So that's why some are resorting to the parallel market, which now increases costs for some of these businesses, especially manufacturing. When you see how they need their inputs for raw material. So tough situation.
Thank you, Rotus. We're out of time.
Right.
Special thanks to everyone who joined us live on YouTube, on Twitter, on WhatsApp. Thank you for your messages. Daniel, will see you. Thank you so much, everyone. Please join us. If you missed any part of this conversation, always go back to YouTube, subscribe to our channel. It's Smooth 981 FM Lagos.